Test. Hoo-yo. Test one. Test one. Test two.
I want the go live link. If I'm not seeing the go live link, I'm gonna be upset. You got no control anymore, do you?
Good evening, everyone. We'll get settled in and started in just about a minute. We'll get going. And I want to respect your time and make sure that we're as efficient as possible. I want to be thorough, but we'll be efficient as well. So about 1 minute, and then we'll get going, okay? All right, good evening, everybody. Thanks so much for making some time for this event this evening. It is hard to believe that in like less than 3 weeks, all these little cherubs and I are going to run on a bus together out east. So how exciting, what a great opportunity, and just thank you in general for working to provide this experience for your kids. This will be the, I think the 4th time that I've had kids in New York City. And so this will be a new experience for me because I haven't been out there. It's been about 15 years, I think, since the last time I took a group of kids. Number of things that are new out there. 9/11 Memorial was not existent at that time. A number of other things I'm certain are different. So there's not 25 inches of snow in New York the last time I went there. So hopefully that will be gone by the time we get out there. But what I hope to do tonight, and what I hope that this meeting offers you, is just an opportunity to make sure that you understand what we're doing, where they're going to be, how to get a hold of us if need be, and just what we're doing to make sure that they not only have a top-notch experience, that they get every penny's worth of your money, I'm sure, out of this trip, but that it's also done in a way that's safe and secure from the time we leave until the time we return them back to you. Our goals, I'm going to introduce you to your chaperones tonight. I do want to make sure that we talk a little bit about student expectations, so that part will feel a little bit like a lecture. I'm not going to lie to you, but I do want to make sure that it's clear what our expectations are so that there are no surprises. A student doesn't make a choice thinking, oh yeah, that was the correct choice, when it's the opposite of what maybe we would expect. So I'll try to be very clear about what our expectations are as a traveler, and then once we get into Manhattan. Then we'll go day by day for our itinerary. We'll stop periodically for questions, and when we do so, I will have some students running the microphones around. Some of you may not be comfortable on a microphone, and while I respect that, the folks that might be watching online and then being able to view this after the fact, we want to make sure that we hear your questions. I'll just ask you to please raise your hand. A student will bring a microphone around. Just talk nice and clearly through the microphone, just so that everybody in the room can hear you, and then the folks online will be able to hear you as well. Additionally, everything that you're going to see tonight will be downloaded to a PDF and emailed out at the end of the meeting as well. So you'll have every slide to look at. If you missed something or if I wasn't clear about something, you'll be able to go back and refer and hopefully make sure that your questions get answered. And please, by all means, ask the questions. Students, just so that you're aware, in the atrium, if you didn't see when you came in, the chaperone list, who is your kind of check-in person, is taped up on the wall by the atrium concession stand. So please make sure that you check that out at some point tonight before you leave. We're going to go and kind of give you a brief idea of what we would recommend that they pack. We'll also talk about the money piece as well with that. We'll give you some contact information for me, for Corey Hillard, who I'll introduce to you in just a moment, and then how we're going to stay in touch with your kids throughout the trip. So we'll talk a little bit about that. We'll talk about medication and kind of any health concerns. There will be a form that I will ask each traveler to take home tonight so that we can get that filled out, and that way we'll have a paper record of anything to do with medications and allergies and etc. And then, of course, any other resources, hotel names and phone numbers, and anything else that you might be interested in knowing about this trip. All right? So as we go, number one, your chaperones. The first 3 people, if you don't know, my name is Andrew Ely. I direct the choirs here at Anamosa. Mr. Compton is our band director, and Danny Helmick is our theater director, and she will be along on the trip. Mr. Compton is sitting right over here. Moving on, we have Steph Wendt, who is our art teacher. She will be one of our chaperones. Laura Seacrest Nicholson, who works at Strawberry Hill as an instructional coach there and is also a member of our Music Boosters. Laura's sitting up front here. And then also Erin Jenkins, who could not be here tonight with a sickness in the family. Erin is district administrator. She is the curriculum director for the Anamosa Community Schools, so that's K-12. And she will be our acting administrator on this trip as well. So any types of issues that would come up, which I highly doubt, but anything that would come up administratively, she will be the one that would handle those types of things. And then as I kind of referenced earlier, Corey Hillard is with Tri-State Travel. Give him just a quick opportunity to introduce himself and how he fits into this whole picture. Here you go, Corey.
Is it on?
Yes.
Perfect. Well, I'm Corey Hillard, and my family owns and operates Tri-State Travel out of Galena, Illinois, and Davenport, Iowa. We are a travel agency and motor coach company, so the motor coaches that will be on the trip are owned and operated by us. That being said, I upgraded 2 of ours to the luxury model. Pretty awesome. All have bathrooms, all have free basic Wi-Fi. I know that's a big deal. DVD player, seat belts. I can't enforce them, but once you get into New York, you have to wear them. And we'll make sure to remind you all the time about that. So I think he's going to go through the tour. I'm going to answer questions and go over basically the travel app. So this is something we're starting new. You're kind of the guinea pigs on it to see if we want to go back to it. They're the original company that started with the cameras. You send them in and they would create a video for you. It's called Group Travel Video. They got into the application side of things. And from what I've heard, they do a great job. But yeah, I'll go over the app a little bit later and I'll let you take over.
Great. Thank you, Corey. So first off, student behavior expectations. Just a quick reminder, this is a school-sponsored trip, so everything that applies here at school applies when we're on this trip. So like if you think of a good conduct policy, you think about the things that we would expect from students if they're in a classroom or representing our school in an athletic event or a fine art event, that would apply to this particular trip as well. So students, I'm pretty certain, looking at all of you, I know you understand what that means. But an overview, this is your trip, 100%. You know, you're investing your time and your money, but this is also the trip for 115 to 120 other people. So I just want you to remember that as we go into this. It's hard sometimes to kind of grasp that until we kind of get in the moment. Some things you might do on your family vacation, we're going to have to do slightly differently on this particular trip because, again, everybody travels together and your decisions could have an effect on everybody else. The 3 things I want you to understand and like kind of use as your mantra, be on time, pay attention the first time something is said, and then communicate, okay? We will run into traffic. We will run into something that puts us at a standstill. We will run into something that we've never seen here in our community that we've never experienced, and that will put us behind, quote unquote, and your ability to be on time when we ask you to be someplace will help ensure that we make the next thing, right? So an experience that I had the first time I took a group of kids to New York, we actually did a Washington, D.C. and a New York trip in the same trip. And this is the only happens once in a lifetime experience. Make a long story short, there was a traffic jam between Washington, D.C. and New York. We got into New York late, and we did not get off the bus until about 8:15. Why is that time important? Because the show we were going to see started at 8 o'clock. And so we literally ran kids to the theater. They were first time in Manhattan, and so we're looking at buildings and pushing kids along the sidewalk to get to the theater. The folks at the theater were kind enough that they let us in. Like I said, this is a once-in-a-lifetime thing. It's not going to happen again. Literally, a scene got over, and the applause hit, and they opened the doors and shoved our kids into the theater. And it's like, well, where's my ticket? Your ticket's right here. Sit down. And so we got really fortunate, but that doesn't happen every time. So if we're somewhere, if you're getting some time on your own, and you don't plan ahead to be on time or be early, we risk missing something that we've all paid for, or missing out on an opportunity to really go in depth with what we're doing. So being on time is the most important thing I could implore upon all of you. Pay attention the first time. A lot of communication is going to be given to you over a microphone on the bus as we're traveling someplace. One of the adults is going to stand up and they're going to give you information. And that's how we're going to be able to communicate to you. We can't see necessarily everybody's shining little face in the back of the bus, so we just have to trust that you're listening, okay? And when we get into a place like New York City where there are 8.5 million people, we need you to know that you heard what we had to say, okay? And that's just really important. It doesn't mean you can't ask questions. It just means that when it's go time and start listening, we just really need you to kind of, as you say, lock in, okay? And then lastly, communicate. There's a big difference between rolling up 15 minutes late without having told anybody what's going on and making that phone call or text message to say, hey, look, I'm in line. The cash register broke. Everybody's pissed. I don't know what else to do. What do I do? Go pay for your trinkets and then come in and we'll take care of you. That's different than la-di-da, look at me, I'm in New York City. Oh, I'm late? Is that me? Like, don't be the second one, be the first one. Communicate with us, make sure that we see, and know what you've been doing, okay? So your general daily routine is gonna look a little bit like this, and this particularly rolls up to when we're staying in a hotel. So we're gonna start in the evening and go to the morning. When we arrive back at a hotel, for what we're doing, we will give you a time where you will need to be in your room waiting for your chaperone. Your chaperone's going to come around and we're going to give you a quick overview of the following day, the things you'll need, the things you won't need, what we'll be doing, and then times, when you need to be, where you need to be, okay? Discuss as a room each night who is going to get up first, who's going to shower, who is going to shower first, who's going to shower last, who's going to sleep where, who's going to sleep when. These are discussions that you need to have amongst yourselves. That is not our responsibility as chaperones to say, Johnny, you're sleeping here, and Billy, you're sleeping over there. That's a discussion you need to have, okay? Set multiple alarms. So everybody probably has a phone. Set multiple alarms on multiple phones so that we ensure you get up and are moving on time. Eat breakfast at the hotels. It is part of what you're paying for. So if you're not a breakfast eater, eat breakfast anyway. Get something in your stomach, because I cannot tell you exactly when that next meal is going to be. If we fall behind, if we run into traffic, if we miss the ferry and have to wait, then we're all waiting. So please take advantage of that. And then you are responsible for loading and unloading and taking care of your own personal items. So on the day we get ready to leave, nobody's going to pick your suitcase up for you and put it under the bus. That's your responsibility. When we get off the bus, nobody's going to stand there. We don't have bellhops that are going to like, doo-doo, and then come and take your bag for you, okay? You are responsible for your things, okay? Nobody is going to look under the seat for you and figure out where your charger went when it fell out of your bag. That's your responsibility, okay? Nobody's going to tell you more than a couple or 3 times, meet at the corner of this street and that street at 4 o'clock. That is your responsibility. Okay, so take on that responsibility. For many of you, you have a lot of people telling you what to do, and you're fine with that. I get it, but now you're going to have to be independent. So we're just simply asking, please listen the first time, and then do what needs to be done. Bus expectations. Please just be courteous. We'll talk about packing and what you can have on the bus with you in just a little bit, but don't play music or a movie or something out loud. Have headphones. Plan on that. Keep your personal items in your space, right? Keep your nasty dogs off of other people. Do the smart things. You have a spot, you have a seat, you have a place under the seat to store some stuff. We aren't spreading out all over God and creation. There's other people on this trip besides you. When we have stops along the way, on the way there and on the way back, we will stop periodically. Rest stops for the drivers, food stops, etc. Be efficient, get off the bus, move around, etc., but then be efficient and get back on the bus so that we're waiting for you, okay? And again, there's 120x amount of other people that are responsible on this trip as well. So just be on time where we need to go. There are bathrooms on each bus. Whatever goes in there stays with us. I don't think I need to elaborate. Sarah, do you want me to go on any further with that? We're good? Okay. Okay. When we're in the city, this is a big one, okay? Listen for instructions before you get off the bus. I mentioned that just a little bit earlier. Always check in with your chaperone. You will be taking attendance many, many, many times. You get off a bus. We walk across the street. We walk 3 blocks. You are going to be required to check in with your chaperone. And it's not, tell Ely I'm okay. It's eyeballs on eyeballs, okay? Every time. No ifs or buts, okay? Roll your eyes all you want. I don't care. But that ensures that we know we have everybody, that we are clear about what's next, about where we're going, and that everybody got there safely, okay? Never, ever, ever set off on your own. I'm going to say that again. Never, ever set off on your own. If you've been to New York 3 times, I don't care. Don't set off on your own. If you're a big city person who lives in a small town and you don't think you can take care of yourself, I don't care. Do not go off on your own. The expectation would be a minimum of 3 to 4 people are in a group when you're out and about. There will be 2 or 3 times that you're going to have opportunity to do that. Chinatown, Midtown by Radio City Music Hall, and Times Square. You are not on your own. If I'm walking down the road, down the street, and I see a little Faith Ewing just having an all ball all by herself, la-di-da, you're on my hip the rest of the trip. Okay, we're not playing games. We're not going to give you seconds and third chances. Your safety and your security is what my job is on this trip, okay? The people that are sitting behind most of you expect me to bring you home safe, okay? So we got to kind of play to the lowest common denominator here. That's a math reference. Peyton will talk about that later, okay? So I just want to be clear. I'm not trying to be that guy. Well, I am trying to be that guy. I just need you to understand, okay? You'll be given boundaries. So, for example, in Chinatown, we'll walk across the street from Little Italy after we finish our Italian meal. We'll go into Chinatown, and we're going to tell you, okay, these are the blocks we want you to be on for the next 45 minutes. Just stay on those blocks. We'll explore. We want to give you that time and that space. And that's what this trip is about. But just like within the boundaries that we give you, please and thank you. And then lastly, follow the guidelines and the boundaries. Follow what chaperones tell you to do. Okay? If you despise me, you're not the only one. But you have to kind of like go with what I'm telling you. All right? You don't know him, but he is far more experienced on these trips than any of us in this room. He is an extension of me. I am an extension of what he knows. So he is going to be a person that you will have to listen to. Okay? He doesn't know you. He doesn't know if you respond well to the stern voice or the comforting voice, but that's not important here. What's important is that you listen and follow directions. Okay? Again, your safety is our collective number one concern. Okay? We want you to have a great time. We want you to experience everything you can experience. But we've got to kind of set some expectations on that. Okay? All right, first time to answer questions, kind of covering what we've covered at this point, okay? I know that there might be packing questions or what are we going to do on day 2 questions. I'm going to cover that next. So based on everything we've talked about now, are there any questions thus far? The mics are live, boys. Just remember that, please.
Oh, I know.
Mr. Garrison?
Mr. Garrison. Going once? Going twice? No one?
That's tomorrow night. That's tomorrow night. Brr. Okay. Going on. So, Saturday, March 14th, you get to take a suitcase and a carry-on. The suitcase would be, again, you're the one responsible for moving it. If you were checking a bag at the airport, that's fine. There's no weight restriction per se, other than what you can carry. And so you can pack a suitcase and a carry-on. The carry-on would go on the bus with you. You are also fine to bring a pillow and a blanket on the bus with you if you choose. Okay? You need to drop off your suitcase and your carry-on on Saturday the 14th between 2 and 3 p.m. so that we, collectively, as chaperones, can open bags, look through them, and ensure that there is nothing on there that shouldn't be in there. Okay? If a parent is concerned about that, I want you to know that I asked Mr. Bentley, do I have the authority to do that? He said absolutely. So we are not looking at anything other than stuff that shouldn't be on the trip. Bottles of alcohol, vapes, cigarettes, drugs, weapons. Okay? We know that it's good and secure. The bag gets zipped up and it waits for you. Males will go through males' bags, so Mr. Compton and I will go through all the boys' bags, and the other 4 chaperones, female chaperones, will go through female bags. Okay? Now, we know that there's a speech thing going on the 14th as well, and that potentially will affect some people in this room. So when you arrive to your speech event, drop your bag off. Okay? The atrium will be labeled by bus 1, 2, 3, male and female. Drop your bag in that square. Okay? So that you'll know when you come in on Sunday morning, I'm on bus 2, I'm a female, I'm going to go over and get my bag. Let's go. Okay? If that is going to be a problem for anyone, please contact me individually and we'll work out a suitable alternative so that we can get your bag here and have it checked. Okay? Then, oh, this is awesome. This is when we leave. You have to arrive at 5:30 in the morning on Sunday the 15th. Yes. And I get to ride with all of these morning people. Arrive at 5:30. We get you here. We give you the green light to get on the buses, and we start wheels rolling hopefully by 6 a.m. This changed a little bit. So our first rest stop is actually going to, I think we're going all the way straight into Chicago. We will do a clinic at Vandercook University in Chicago Sunday morning. Prior to the clinic, we'll do an early lunch. And so we'll stop, actually our first stop will actually be that first lunch stop. It'll be around 10 a.m. And that's where students will have their first meal out of pocket. And then from there, we'll go to Vandercook and we will do a clinic with the staff at Vandercook. There'll be a separate band and choir clinic. For those of you that are in both worlds, Mr. Compton and I will sort out who's doing what at that point. So that means that band students, you will need to have that. If you are not a percussionist, then you'll need to have your instrument with you. Those will store underneath the buses if you're comfortable with that, certainly the larger instruments. And then those smaller personal instruments like a flute or a clarinet, if you would prefer those to be on the bus with you, they are, of course, your responsibility. We finish Vandercook and then we take off. As I mentioned, that lunch stop is actually before we do the clinic, but that is kind of where we're at that point. So we will drive throughout the afternoon. There'll be a couple of stops throughout, and then we'll get into Ohio, Dave & Buster's, which is like adult Chuck E. Cheese. We will go and we'll have a private buffet for the students there. It's actually, and then you'll get a $20 gaming card that you'll get to go and do some fun and games with as well. That's all part of the trip cost that you've paid. Those cards can be recharged, so think of Spare Time. If you've ever been to that in Cedar Rapids, you can go into the machine and put more money in if you choose. That's totally your call. We will then check into the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Perrysburg, Ohio, and that's where we'll spend our first night. You will have to take everything in with you, and then again pack everything up the next morning. Okay? So that is our first travel day. There is a pool at this hotel. If you choose to swim, that is your choice, but it is certainly not a requirement by any stretch. There will be time between our leaving Dave & Buster's and checking in before lights out or nighttime, where you'll be able to kind of like chill and hang out and socialize a little bit. So just please understand that, okay? Day 2, we get back on the bus. There will be a hotel, or rather, we'll do breakfast first. We will make sure that everybody's well fed, get you on the bus, and we'll do some travel, a lunch stop on your own. I'll summarize the meals on your own here later on in the presentation, just so that you're aware. Then our final destination will be the American Dream Mall, which is in New Jersey. The picture that you see is a picture of the American Dream Mall. Think like Mall of America, big, huge food court, lots of prom dress shopping, I'm sure. Oh my God, it's so exciting. you got to be asked. So probably not, Bradley. All right. So maybe she will be. We don't know. You get a $30 cash payout for that particular meal. So you'll get a $30 cash payout before you get off the bus and go into the mall. You'll have some time to go around and explore. We get back on the buses. We go to the Holiday Inn Hasbrook Heights in Hasbrook Heights, New Jersey, and then that will be our hotel for the remainder of the trip. Okay? We'll give you lights out and next day's itinerary, and then that will take us into our first day in Manhattan. Breakfast at the hotel. We'll go to Radio City Music Hall, one of the most famous performing arts venues in the world. You'll each get a tour of that facility. We'll do those in 4 groups, and so you'll have to pay attention to what group you are assigned to. When you are not touring Radio City, you'll be able to explore Midtown. This will be your first kind of on your own time. Midtown in Manhattan, it consists of Radio City Music Hall, the 30 Rockefeller Center, which is where the Today Show is located. The ice rink is probably still up, so if you've ever seen the movie with the tree and the ice rink, this is the area that we'll be in. And we'll be able to get you a little bit over into Times Square area. This is all within walking distance, okay? We will have a guided walking tour of Central Park, if weather permits. If it's not, then we'll do a driving tour, kind of giving you some sites, particularly those movie sites. Ghostbusters fans out there, right? Central Park West, the really ritzy, Jerry Seinfeld owns like 6 floors of a building, and he parks all of his cars up on these 6 floors. Kind of a crazy deal. So you'll hear a little bit about some of those things. Find out where John Lennon lived, and there's some things in Central Park there that commemorate him. We will then go to dinner in Little Italy, where literally it's like a little Italian neighborhood. Directly across the street is Chinatown, so you'll get your second opportunity to do some exploring on your own. So we'll get a couple, 2 or 3 hours after dinner to do some exploring. This would be a really good opportunity if you're looking for those souvenirs. A lot of those particular stores, that you'll get those like the purses and the sunglasses. They fell off the boat. Oh my God, they're the real Oakleys. They're really not. But you get an opportunity to kind of do a little bit of shopping. I would recommend personally, like if you want the I Love New York stuff, you might want to try these places versus like the Statue of Liberty gift shop, because the prices there are probably going to be quite a bit more. So again, traveling in small groups, making sure you're not off on your own. Our chaperones will be circulating around with you and doing the same things you'll be doing over there in Chinatown. Then we'll get back on the buses, back to the hotel, and kind of, again, assume our routine of checking in, making sure you are all good to go. Okay. Wednesday, March 18th, we will go to breakfast at the hotel. Then we'll go to the USS Intrepid. You'll get a chance to explore that vessel, and then we will have lunch in the mess hall of that vessel. And then from there, we will walk to the theater and see our first Broadway show, which will be Aladdin. That's a 2 o'clock, Corey? Is that 2 o'clock in the afternoon? 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock matinee of Aladdin. From there, we will go to Dallas Barbecue, which is in Times Square. We'll have a dinner there as well. So you'll have breakfast that day at the hotel, lunch that day. That's the box lunch that you selected a little while ago, students, you might recall. And then dinner at a barbecue place in Times Square. Then we will do the Top of the Rock, so we will go to 30 Rockefeller Center. This is the building that Saturday Night Live is located in. It's the building that I believe Jimmy Fallon's show is filmed in Rockefeller Center. We'll take the express elevator up to the top, the observation deck, and we'll see New York City at night from up there. Okay. Then back to the hotel, do our routine. Everybody checks in. Mr. Ely's exhausted at this point, and so you will not be obnoxious at that point. Mia, I'm talking to you. Okay. Thursday, March 19th, breakfast at the hotel. That's the day we'll do the 9/11 Memorial. So this will be the South Seaport area of Manhattan. We'll do the 9/11 Memorial. We'll go from 9/11 Memorial to the Statue of Liberty in Ellis Island. That's a pretty full day in and of itself, but our day is not complete by any stretch. Dinner on your own at Times Square. This will be another opportunity for you to do some exploring and find a place to eat there. Or maybe Leah's going to go to the hot dog vendor and load up on a dozen hot dogs. Because that's what you do in New York City, right? You eat a hot dog. Okay. And then we will do our second Broadway show. That'll be an evening performance. That will be the show Hadestown at the Walter Kerr Theater. This will be the last evening in New York City for us, and so we want you to make sure you get as much out of this particular day because this will be our last day. Back to the hotel. You'll be tired, still exhausted. We'll be reflecting on what a fantastic day. And then the long haul back home. So we're going to go, we travel back home on the final day. Depending on the driver times that they've been off clock, would perhaps adjust when we leave in the morning. So we get, again, hotel, pack, load the buses, and then we start hauling back to Anamosa. Stops along the way, lunch and dinner, and then back arriving home like early, late, however you want to look at it. Ungodly hour either way, right? So we have that brings into like curfew for drivers, right? Young drivers particularly. And parents, I'm sorry to say this to you, but maybe you'll have to pick them up at 12:30 just to avoid that curfew piece. Maybe you're dropping off a car. Maybe you just want to think about that procedure prior to their departure so that you guys are coordinated with that. Okay, so as I'm kind of summarizing, this is a piece that you're going to definitely want to pay attention to. This outlines each day when students have to pay for meals on their own. Again, I remind you that I am sending this entire slide presentation home with via email, so I just want to make sure you're aware of that. You can kind of see how that is. Now, I would love to be able to give you a dollar amount recommendation, but I don't know what your child's eating habits are. I knew I'd have a laugh back from someone. Jakey might need the dozen nugs from Chick-fil-A. Where are you, Jakey? He might need 2 dozen nugs. Okay. Connor might just need a side salad. And that's okay. He's like, what's a side salad? Matthew, don't explain it to him because I'm not sure you know either. Austin. Okay. So, if you think about the places that we're going to be stopping at, we're talking like a McDonald's, a Panera. When we're in Chicago, there's a Portillo's. There are other places that you're probably familiar with. You're going to need to kind of plan with your child. This is kind of how much. And then, again, students, you're going to have to be kind of thinking in terms of budgeting, right? Always, always, always at the beginning of the trip, we're super excited, right? But remember, there's like 3, 4, 5 days after we leave. So you're going to want to make sure that you have something at the back end of the trip so that you're not stealing ketchup packets from Arby's and calling that your meal, okay? So, again, part of this trip is getting you experience in kind of having to manage some of that as well. Okay, so I don't have like a dollar amount. I would say approximately $10 a meal if that fits your child's eating habits. Like I can do the $5.50, $5.85 with tax McDonald's meal, and I'm good to go. Others might be able to get by with even less. So that would be my recommendation there. So again, that breaks down sort of the 4 meals during travel, 3 meals while in New York City, and then we'll have lots of options. When you're in New York City, just a slight sort of editorial comment. Yes, there's probably like fast food in Times Square, but maybe you venture off the map a little bit and find something a little more local. You know what I mean? Maybe you do look around the corner and see if there's a pizza place and buy a couple slices. Maybe you go to a Chinese restaurant and try something like that. It might just be something that would interest you rather than a steady diet of McNuggets. I'm not hating on nuggets now. Let's be clear. Do I look like I've ever hated on a nugget? Okay. Miscellaneous money. Okay, so rest stop, bottle of water. Dave & Buster's, I want to recharge my game card. Souvenir at pick a place. Again, that's completely up to you and your family and your situation and what will work for you. I would say, you know, do some searching online. You know, if you search the gift shop at the Statue of Liberty because you're a Statue of Liberty freak and you love the Statue of Liberty and you really want to buy the little figurine, figure out how much it's going to cost, and then plan from there. Again, I will say this. We tend to get really excited on the front end of the trip, and then we're, you know, sugar packets at the end, okay? So we want to try to avoid that if all possible. Now, I will have some additional money along so that nobody will go hungry. I will take care of your children. I will ensure our chaperones know to be looking for certain things. They know that if something sounds and looks kind of funny, we'll step in and we'll take care of it, okay? And I'm not asking for anything in return. We just want to make sure your kids are fed, they have energy for the entire trip, okay? It's the least we can do. So I would recommend if your child's going to carry cash that they do not carry bills larger than $20. I would probably say smaller amounts. Students, take only what you'll need with you each day and leave the rest zipped up in your suitcase at home. I would also recommend if your child has a debit account or debit card attached to a bank account, that would probably be the best way to do it. That way those cards can be turned off or canceled or stopped or whatever. A cash card works, but it really is like cash. If you lose the card, you lose the cash. So again, that's a decision that I think is best for a family to make a decision. But I do encourage you to carry a manageable amount of cash because cash, once it's gone, it's gone. Okay. Yes. I'll say that so that everybody who might be here, notify your bank if your child has an account locally. Notify your bank. Some banks do lock those like cards down if they see an oddball purchase. So it's like Casey's on 64th, Casey's on 64, Casey's on 64, Chick-fil-A in Ohio. Like that might again be why am I obsessed with Chick-fil-A, Peyton? Like what's going on? That might cause that card to be like denied someplace else. So if your bank requires that, check in with your bank and make sure you take care of that before they leave. We're going to get to questions in just a second. Can you hang on just a little bit? Okay, thank you. Personal bag, backpack, purse, and phone. When you're walking around New York City, I think it would be best if you had a bag that straps over the shoulder or a backpack that you can like have on securely. Ladies particularly, if you carry a purse, like I'm not saying you have to go out and buy a Lululemon bag, but I'm saying like that type of bag that goes over the shoulder is probably best because it can be secure. You can put a coat or a sweatshirt over it, and everything is like kind of secure with you. You are a tourist. Nobody's going to be questioning who you are, okay? But if we live stream down the road here, there's nothing that says somebody can't just slide by on an electric scooter and take your phone out of your hand. So I would recommend that you're judicious about having your phone out and taking pictures. Gentlemen, I would probably say front pockets versus back pocket. Back pocket's way easier to get picked than front pocket. Okay, so if that's not normal for you, start putting your phone in your front pocket now. Right? If you carry a wallet in your back pocket, put it in your front pocket. Okay? It's better. It's better. Things with zippers, things with straps over shoulders are best. Okay? Some days we'll have access to the buses, some days we won't. So that's again why you need to pay attention. Oh, I'll leave my money on the bus because we're coming back to it. Oh, no, we're not. And now we're back to sugar packets, Catherine. Okay? And then whatever you don't need, leave in the hotel. Okay? So we're going to a Broadway show and this and that, and there's no real opportunity. The day that we have no meals out of pocket, take as little as cash as you think you're going to need. And then just leave the rest back. Okay. I'm going to take a breath. Packing list. I'm not going to get in the middle of what you think you should take. I'm going to tell you that in your suitcase will be your clothes, all the things that you need when you go to a hotel and you stay overnight somewhere. The stuff you need in the bathroom, clean undies, whatever. On your carry-on, the one that you'll have on the bus, phone charger, book, your personal device, boredom breakers, right? The crossword puzzle, Sudoku, whatever you want to call it. Snacks if you choose. Please be reasonable. Nobody needs to see your case of Diet Coke all over the bus. Okay? If you want a pillow and a blanket, you can take a pillow and a blanket. You're responsible for everything you bring on the bus. You're responsible for getting everything you bring on the bus off the bus. You're responsible for that small woodland creature-sized suitcase that you're carrying a bobcat in, right? Like, you are responsible for it. All right, last bit before we get into some questions. Up front here is a form. Up here is a form that I'm going to ask every traveler to have filled out. It's a medical form on the front side, name, first and last, and birth date, any allergies that we need to be aware of. That would include if you carry an EpiPen. And then any prescription medications listed on the front side. Okay? Accutane for acne, birth control, ADHD medication, anxiety, depression, whatever your child might be taking, if that applies to you, please list it. If your child does not take prescription medication, there's a place to check to say no medication. The backside gives you some options as a parent on how we're going to do the medication thing. So if your child does take prescription medication and you feel comfortable giving your child permission to take their own prescription medication, check the box that says, I give my child permission to do their own prescription medication. I don't need to be involved in the why or the how. I just need to know what your choice will be. Okay? If you want the school or school administrator, myself, Ms. Helmick, Ms. Jenkins, any of us, to administer your child's medication for them, then indicate that, and then we will need to get that medication when you arrive on the 15th. In any situation where there is prescription medication, we need it to be in its original bottle with the label. Okay? And only send the amount that they need for the trip. We just got the prescription filled. There's 90 pills in the bottle. Please don't send all 90. Send what they will need for the trip, and only that which they need. Okay, that just makes it a little bit easier on us. And again, I am certified to administer medications. Others of our chaperones are certified to administer medications. If that's your choice, just indicate to us, and then we will ensure that we connect and get that medication from you when you drop your child off on the 15th of March. There's a second section that we would like you to list any over-the-counter medications your children will be carrying with you. Pepto-Bismol for you-know-what. Ibuprofen, Tylenol. Dramamine for motion sickness. Tums for an upset stomach. Just list the things that your child would have. Make sure that they're in a proper container. I'm going to leave that at that. And it just lets us know. So if Maggie is taking ibuprofen, I know that it's ibuprofen because it says it on the list. It's not other weird things that you picked up on the street corner, that Julia picked up on the street corner for you. And then lastly, just a quick signature at the bottom that says, in unlikely event that we need to seek medical attention for your child, that you give us permission to do that. Of course, I will call you. Of course, Carrie Plymester, I'm not going to take Jenna's kidney unless I get a really good deal. Then we might be out a kidney. I got kids in college, guys. Come on. Of course, we'll be in contact. Of course, we'll let you know if something comes up. But in that event, in that unlikely event, we would just have a signature that says, yep, you trust us to make that initial decision to seek medical attention. We'll give you the call, and then we can let you take the wheel from there. Okay? All right. I'm going to leave the next slide up here because some of you might want to write some things down, but I am going to say that if we have some questions, now would be a fantastic time. If you need me to go back a slide or two to reference something that you heard come through, by all means, please just let me know, and I'd be happy to go by. This is the two hotels, my cell phone number, and please feel free to take it. I have no problem with that whatsoever. And then Corey's contact through Tri-State Travel. If there were some issue that came up and you need to speak with him directly, you would call that 1-800 number, and then they would be able to get a hold of you from there, or him, excuse me, from there. All right, so questions. Looks like we have one right back here. So Austin.
So is a purse the carry-on bag?
If the carry-on and a purse is fine.
So do they have
So
to
we can
leave
have
the
three?
purse Saturday
We'll just
night?
do a quick check on the day of as they're getting ready. We'll just peek in. No vapes. Liz, you're good.
So on Sunday, she'll just bring that with
Yep.
her? Okay, but she can have a carry-on bag in her purse?
Yes.
Okay.
Emily got one.
Okay, are there gonna be like washing machines at the hotel, or do we have to go find a laundromat somewhere?
If you feel like you need to wash something, some hotels will have those facilities. They are pay facilities. Corey, can you speak on whether or not this? We're going to find out if we have it, and we'll get back to you on that one. Yes.
So sometimes when you go to places and you're going to take a bag, a lot of times they'll have you bring in a clear bag. Is that something that,
We're going to make sure that they have the information on what can go in and what can't on any particular day. Again, with Corey having been out there many, many times. So the night before, for example, the day we go to the Statue of Liberty, we will let them know, look, they need clear bags. If you want to bring a clear bag so that you have something, I would say that's a fine idea. I wouldn't call it a requirement, but I would say that we will let you know you can't have bags on the ferry to Ellis Island, or you can have a small bag with you. It doesn't need to be. We will let just day by day give them that information. Great point. So I'll just repeat what Corey said. Tight security going into the Statue of Liberty, much like an airport or like a TSA check. Similar also with the USS Intrepid. So on those particular instances, I know with the USS Intrepid, the buses will drop us off right there, and you'll have access to the buses on that day. So you could probably leave pretty much everything on the bus, and you would have access to it after we are done. So again, judiciously deciding what you need to bring, and then us as chaperones will make sure we communicate that the night before. Good. Caden. Oh, yep, hold it. We'll do Caden and then the one up there.
At Chicago, during the clinic, what are we supposed to wear, like one of our Broadway outfits, or?
That's a great question, Caden. I think that like you'll roll up to school wearing what you're gonna wear, and as long as like, I mean, like if it's like the SpongeBob pajama pants, maybe have like a chair, like a change with you. But we're not going to ask you to dress up on that first day when we're on a bus at 6 in the morning. Okay? So like the joggers and a sweatshirt, if that's what you're wearing at the clinic, I think we can be good with that. Mr. Compton, do you have anything to add to that? Okay. So that we're clear, moms and dads, we are not taking the concert uniform. The black dress, the tuxedo, we are not taking that. That is nothing that we need to pack, nor is it expected. I would just leave that bad boy in the closet. Emma.
Do you have a general idea how much meals might cost?
So on the way out and on the way back, a general idea would be sort of like what would you pay at McDonald's anywhere? The prices are generally the same, or similar restaurant types of places. When you get into New York and you go to like a hot dog vendor, for example, $4 to $5 for a hot dog. Slice of pizza might be $4 to $5. If you're in a place like Chinatown and you want to get something, it might not be as expensive. But I guess I would just, again, in general plan, if you're paying for a meal, one of the 7 that are out of pocket, I'm circling around that $10 mark. But please don't quote me on that, because it could be less. It also could be more. Elijah?
How many days and nights would this trip span over total?
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, travel back on Friday. You take away 1 for nights. Did I do the math right there, Crystal? Okay. I knew I could count on you, Crystal.
Any
I
other
didn't do that
questions?
good. I know there's got to be way more questions. Yes.
On your slides, they mentioned security in the hotels.
Yep.
Parentheses, part of the trip cost.
Yep. So
What does that equal?
there is a private security company that will roam the halls where our rooms are every evening, and they are hired by Tri-State to ensure that our kids are safe in the overnight hours, and so that'll be at every hotel stop that we're at. And that fee for that was part of the trip cost that we paid for. Thank you for clarifying on that. Appreciate it. Jacqueline,
Do you think that we could like bring?
can you talk just a little louder, sweetheart?
Do you think that we could bring like a camera?
A camera?
Like, yeah. to, like, take
Absolutely.
pictures?
Yeah, 100%. If you don't have one on a phone or don't want to take them on your phone for storage purposes, absolutely bring a camera. You bet.
Any other questions?
Over here. Thank you.
Okay, I'm a little concerned about the free time.
Yep.
How are chaperones keeping track of these kids? I mean,
Absolutely.
are they tracking them on a phone, or are they just
Yep.
making them
So,
check in?
what a great segue. It's almost like we planned this, right? Corey is going to talk to you a little bit. Can I get one of the mics, please? He's going to talk to you a little bit about an app that we're going to ask every student to download.
Yeah, so
And just to give you kind of like a reference point, many of you in here are probably familiar with Life 360. This app, Corey's going to explain that, functions in a couple of ways, and that's one of the ways that it functions. It gives us a GPS location for every student logged in on the app. So Corey's going to give you some detail about that, and then before you leave tonight, you'll want to make sure you have one of these little postcard-sized things so that you'll be able to download the app and understand how to get logged in.
yeah, so up here, once you grab that sheet to fill out, I'm going to have these up here, and then I'll have some back there as well. Grab these. This is your login for the travel app. This has the GPS. It has a messaging. It basically does the photo share, which is gone through him before it actually goes public, so you guys don't have to worry about that. But yeah, the biggest selling point for this app is the GPS tracker. I will have this on your documents online as well, along with the quick guide to answer any of the questions. But yeah, and I'll also have the updated itinerary. That is up right now under your documents online. And then I'll have a few other things that I'll have up there as well.
So again, to answer that question, that will be the way we will know like where every child is. In addition to that, there are groups that we will set up, the chaperones will set up throughout the app. I'll be able to message my group in addition to everybody, say, hey, Mr. Ely's group, I'm over at, let's pick Chick-fil-A, right? If you need something, meet me there. Every student will have my cell phone number, so they can call me directly if they run into something where they're unsure of where they're at or how to get back to where they need to get to. And again, we set those parameters to say, please stay within these boundaries. We will circulate within those parameters as well. One of the reasons why we pick staff to do these trips is that our faces are just a little bit more familiar than maybe the average parent who you may or may not know. And so, old man Ely with his white beard is going to be standing on a street corner in Times Square. He might be easier to pick out than random mom or dad. So if there is, beyond what we've got in place, if there's something that a parent would prefer as a means to help us or ensure that we're tracking the child, then just let's have that conversation so that we can set something up specifically for your child. Because again, I want you to enjoy them not being home.
And parents,
we want you to know that they're going to be safe, and everything we're going to do is to put them in the best position to have a great time, but then also to be safe.
Parents can log into this too, and they can kind of monitor how the trip's going as well. So if you parents download the app, use the same username, the password. Once you get in there, you just put your name, and then you're logged in.
Students, so I've talked to you a little bit about this photo sharing bit. You can put a picture up, but I'm the one that approves it to go out and send everybody to see. So just be aware. And then your name does pop up, oh, Chris Sundstrom just put this picture up. Oh, it's a beautiful sunset. Thanks, Chris. Gus put a picture. We're not going to tell you what that one was. Right? So that is an opportunity for everybody to get some really good pictures. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, about a month after the trip, I was reading through, it kind of kicks out kind of like a slideshow video that everybody gets access to on that app as well. So again, this is all part of the trip, what's been paid for. It's not an extra, it's just this is part of the trip.
Oh, and then make sure you bring comfortable shoes because we could be walking a lot. And I can't stress that enough in New York because it might say 18 minutes on your Google Maps. Reality, it's probably going to take 45 minutes to an hour to get to the place on a motor coach rather than we could just walk in 15 to 17 minutes. So we're going to monitor weather, obviously, and then I monitor the traffic. And if it's going to take us an hour to go 3 blocks, we're walking. If it's going to take an hour to go 8 blocks, we're walking. Even if it's 10 blocks, we're going to walk. So just be prepared. I know some folks, they start getting on the trip, and by day 2, they're like, can't do it. It's like, well, this is how it goes, because we're not going to take one motor coach to pick up that person and take them. We try to keep the motor coaches off the streets as much as possible, just in case, they get hit. We're on the way to, somebody hits them, now we're stuck there for an hour, and it's a 2-hour drive to where we need to go, and it's not walking distance. That just kind of takes that scenario out of the picture. So just be prepared.
I failed to advance the slide. The remind, oh, ding dong, somebody's right in. I've set up a parent remind group. Any message I send to the kids, I will copy the parent. So I'm going to annoy you during that week because I'm going to send you everything that I'm sending them. Because I want you to be in the mix. I want you to know. I want you to be aware. So when I say, hey, bus is rolling in 15 minutes, you're going to get that message. Okay? You might want to decide how the notifications come to you, but you're going to get the messages as well. Okay? So another way for us to communicate to you while you're there. Again, with Remind, just like this group travel app, phone numbers are not like shared. It's just an opportunity for us to be able to communicate to students. And then if you decide that you need to message me directly, you can message me directly on that as well. I'm going to send that out. So I'm going to advance the slide. Don't get up. I don't want anybody to get mad at me. Okay. We've been doing some really good questions and answer. So I appreciate everything that's been asked thus far. It's an ominous feeling, right? To send your child away if you've never done it. I can tell you that I sent my daughter to Dallas last year on a choir event when she was a senior at Linn-Mar. I wasn't real excited about her flying to Dallas without me. She got there okay, and she had a great time. And the people that were with her were great, and they took really good care. They did a lot of walking in downtown Dallas. So as ominous as it feels, we aren't going to take like the mission trip tour to a seedy part of New York City. We're going to stay in a place. We're going to stay in places predominantly that a lot of people like us are going to be in. Tourist areas. Times Square is a relatively secure place in comparison to maybe what it was in like the early 80s when it wasn't such a great place to be. And the places, again, that we're going to, there are going to be a lot of people like us who are there to see the sights and take it all in. Are there any additional questions? Yes, go ahead. Oh, maybe I need to turn it on my end. Sorry. Give me just a second here. Thank you. Go ahead.
So just to elaborate on what she was saying earlier about the free time, is that always going to be during the daytime? There won't be free time after dark?
That's a great question. So when we go to dinner in Little Italy and then do the Chinatown, there will be that will be during the evening. I have done that with a group, and again, where we're going to be is relatively touristy. I mean, yes, there are people who live there, and this is their business. Their businesses are outside. They live close to their businesses, but we are going in a location and with the intent of them getting an opportunity to kind of see that cultural bit, but also in a safe place. We're not going to be there past like 9 p.m. I want to say.
No, in the places we're going, it's heavy tourism, like you said, and that's well protected. 9/11 area, well protected. Chinatown, Little Italy, a lot of tourism. They're going to protect that. Times Square, well protected, tourism, they protect any, their biggest revenue spots, so never had a problem.
So a little bit of the evening on that night. The other, when we're at Radio City, that's going to be during the day. That'll be their first opportunity. And then on the back end of the trip, when we go to our last show, it'll be pre-8 o'clock. So whenever it starts to get dark in New York on the 17th or 18th of March, might be a little bit of time. But again, Times Square, you might need sunglasses at night. I wear my sun. Other questions? Yes? Great question.
The day we leave.
So you can go ahead on the app, you'll be able to sign up, you'll be able to get logged in. It goes live where we're going to be able to have some business going on it on the day we leave. So if you don't see anything right away, please don't panic on that regard.
And the day we get back, that's when it ends. And then you have a certain grace period to add photos. I believe until the 20th. I'd have to look that up, but I'll have all the information I'm going to attach to your documents.
Students, could I get a few of you to start handing out medical forms and postcards for the app? Please and thank you. Emily.
Yeah.
Oops, sorry. Hold on, Emily. We're good?
I'm coming. All right, Austin, got you.
Where are we at?
Right in the middle.
Okay. Carrie.
The days that we do the Broadway shows, it looks like we're out and about like from morning to night. So how do we dress like?
Sure. On the first day when we do our matinee show, we're at the USS Intrepid prior to that. The buses will actually park right by the USS Intrepid. The kids will have access to the bus after the Intrepid before we walk to the Broadway show.
Yeah, that's one of the very few places we can leave the buses and there's actual parking. And we take the pedestrian walk bridge over so it's all connected. So hopefully if we walk, then the buses can just stay there the entire time so somebody has to go back.
And then the second one is going to be one of those where like we're just going to have to plan ahead. I'm telling the kids, hey, kind of dress up for the shows. I'm not thinking about like homecoming dress up. I'm not thinking about heels and that. I'm not thinking about like shirts and ties necessarily. Jeans and a top are going to be okay, I think, at a Broadway show. Preference on my part, but not requirement, for our young men might be khakis and a polo, and then if you have a pair of tennis shoes on. Ladies, leggings and a sweater, a skirt if you choose, a nicer pair of jeans and a top, comfortable shoes. We're not going to sacrifice comfort to look fly. Yo.
Why not?
And honestly, they basically say don't wear large hats to obstruct view and then overuse casual gym clothes. That's what they say.
Right. Like, let's just not go sweatpants to Broadway. Not pajama pants. SpongeBob, leave him at home. Never watched an episode of my life. I have no idea what it even looks like.
Ely, you're missing out. That's all I know.
That's okay. I'll get some more medical forms printed off here in just a minute. So if you didn't get one, don't leave without one. Okay. All right. Lastly, I think we might be sort of at the end here. So pick up a medical form, get that group app. I will run up quick and get a few more of those medical forms printed, and I'll just meet people out in the atrium who didn't get a chance to get one. In all instances, please reach out to me with questions. I am happy to have a conversation with you. If you need additional support for your child in any way, for your peace of mind, for their peace of mind, just ask. We'll make it work. I'm thrilled. I'm excited. I hope your kids are. I hope you are. I hope we've been thorough enough. I kept it to an hour and 3 minutes, so I'm pretty proud of myself on that regard as well. So have a great evening. I'll meet those of you who need a medical form in just a sec. Thanks. Matthew, your face is going to be a red zone here in about a minute. Everybody needs to hear that.
I took this out of number 9 bag, and that's sitting on
The
top
mic,
of
not the bag?
the mic. I
Okay.
took that out of number 9, and the bags are sitting on top of the water bottles.
Okay.